Hello parents and guardians, my name is Mr. Wong and welcome to my Period 2 Google Classroom for Math. This particular period I actually have multiple class sections running simultaneously, namely Basic Algebra A, Basic Algebra C, Basic Geometry 1A, and Basic Preparation for Advanced Math A. What you're looking at here is the opening screen to my math classes Google Classroom, which contains 3 of the classes that I mentioned earlier, and I'll show you what I mean shortly. This particular view shows everything that I've already posted under my Stream tab, like announcements to the students and past assignments. To get to the daily assignments, as well as the online meeting links, students should log into their student Gmail accounts before the class period starts to access their Google Classrooms. Once they've done that and gotten to a screen like this, or something similar to it, because the student view may be a little different than the teacher view, they need to click on this Classwork tab here, which is what I'm going to do. And as you can see, from that point, they can now see their assignments. Now in this particular Google Classroom, as I said, I actually have 3 class sections. So here is the class section for Basic Algebra C and the daily assignments. Here is the class section for Basic Geometry 1A and their daily assignments. And here's the class section for Basic Prep for Advanced Math A and their daily assignments. Now to find the daily assignments and the online meeting links, students need to select the right date. So if we were selecting today, I would select August 24th, 2020 for Algebra C. Click on it, which expands the window, and then it shows what today's assignments is. Like for Algebra C, it's solving and checking equations, 26 problems plus homework. They need to show their work. And then right underneath there is the meeting link for today's online meeting through the Zoom platform, which is the platform that I happen to be using. Every assignment of every day has a meeting link in there that they can click on to get to my Zoom meetings or my online meetings. It's also located under my Stream tab. Underneath that are instructions to the student on how to download attachments like handouts or textbook pages. And then underneath that are any attachments that I may have attached to the assignment. In this case, I have a handout. Students can also click on View Assignment at the very bottom right here to get an expanded view of this particular assignment, but I can't click on it here because the next screen shows student names and I have to keep that confidential. What I will do is I'll go to another classroom that hasn't been populated with students yet and show you what I mean. So I'm going to go over to, this is my Basic Algebra A class, and it doesn't have any students populating it yet. And if I go to Classwork, if I go to today's assignment, the 24th, click on it. And rather than scroll down all of this, I'm just going to go to View Assignment right here and click on that. And then here, if there were students populating this class, I would see a roster of them as well as who has turned in the assignment and who still needs to turn in an assignment. There are no students populating this class, so that's why it's all blank. But if I go to Instructions and click on that, here's the entire assignment in the page, including the meeting link for today and including instructions on how to download attachments. And then once again, there's the assignment for Algebra A. Now I'm going to go back to the other Google Classroom that contains the other 3 classes so we can look at the assignments more closely. Okay, so I'm back to my Algebra C section. If I was interested in looking at this assignment or downloading this assignment, first I would go and click on it. Oh, there we go, it fixed itself. This is a view-only representation of the assignment. As you can see, we're working on solving and checking equations. From here, I always suggest to the students to go to these 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, click on them, and then click Open in a new window. And what will happen is this handout, or textbook pages, if I uploaded those, will be displayed in its own window. So that way, and it's coming up, I'll show you the benefit of that shortly. So So that way I can go back to the original Google Classroom, which is this tab, click on this arrow, and then go back to the assignment itself right there with the instructions. So that way I can look at that as well as look at the assignment itself. Now once the handout has been opened up in its own window, the student now has access to additional commands that they didn't previously have in the other window. Namely, they can print it from here if they want to, have their own hard copy, or they can download it onto their computer, again, if they want to. Another feature that they have, if this was a Word document that I had uploaded into the system, was that they could go here where it says Open With, click on it, and then there's a variety of applications they can choose from to actually open the handout. As I said earlier, if this was a Word document and we clicked on Google Docs, that would give us the ability to edit and type into this document, and then they could send it back to me electronically. But this wasn't uploaded as a Word doc, it was uploaded as a PDF. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the original Google Classroom with the class sections, and that was Basic Algebra C. If I scroll down to Basic Geometry 1A, and I was enrolled in that class, and the students already know what sections they're in, and each section is populated with specific students based on their class schedule enrollment, so they can't accidentally open up someone else's assignment or accidentally open up an assignment for a different section. But for Basic Geometry 1A, it's very similar. Click on the assignment. This is their assignment. We're currently doing integer review because some of their math skills are a little rusty. It's been a while since some of them have taken algebra. Here's the meeting link for today. It's the same meeting link for Basic Algebra C as it is for Basic Prep for Advanced Math. What I have all the students do at the beginning of the period is they all join the same Zoom meeting, and it's kind of like a collective or communal virtual waiting room where all students come to the same meeting. That gives me an opportunity to take roll. It also gives me an opportunity to make any general announcements that I might have to all the students as a whole. I very briefly go over each section's assignment, and then I assign students to different breakout rooms based on their subject. So Algebra C would go to their own breakout room, virtual breakout room. Geometry 1A would go to their own breakout room. Prep for Advanced Math would go to their own breakout room. That way they can work on their subject same assignments. So for Geometry 1A, they have an assignment attached at the bottom. And again, just like for Algebra C, if they need to open it, click on the handout. This is what their handout looks like. Again, I suggest to them to go to these three dots, click on Open in a New Window. I'm not going to actually do that. And then they can work on it from there. Now for Basic Prep for Advanced Math, they actually have a textbook to work out. So if they were interested in accessing today's assignment, they would go to today, the 24th, click on it. Here's their assignment. They've got 3 things to work on. Here's their meeting link, online meeting link, which is the same for the other 2 sections. Here's instructions on how to download attachments. And here's their attachment for today. Now the first assignment was work on a basics practice on page 12 to 13, and then progress check 8, and then math on the job. So when we open the textbook pages, there they are. Once again, I suggest to them to open this up in its own window, so that way they have the freedom to go back and forth between the Google Classroom window as well as the textbook pages window. And it's loading, and it's loading. And this is what I mean. So if we go back to here and we click on this arrow, now they can go back and go, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. And they go to the textbook pages. Because sometimes when they actually get to the textbook pages, there's a lot of stuff going on here and they might forget and might do the wrong thing. So here's that basics practice we were talking about. They're not going to do Progress Check 7 because that was already assigned at a previous class section. What they are going to do is going to start here where it says, do you understand about spending, read about it, and then here's that Progress Check 8 that they're going to work on. Here's the questions for that. And then here's that Math on the Job assignment that was put on for today's assignment. So that's for that class. And then students have the option to either type up their assignments directly through Google Classroom. I can't show you what that looks like because this is a teacher view, but from the student view, once they click on the assignment and they open it up, one of the options that it gives them is to open up a Word doc, and they can actually type their responses, and if they click submit or turn in, it automatically comes back to me. That would be ideal when students actually do the work within Google Classroom and then send it back to me through Google Classroom, because it's a closed system and it's a little less likely for assignments to get lost. I allow students other options to turn in their work. They can, if they're more comfortable doing work paper and pencil style, they can do a paper and pencil, take a picture of it, and then email it to me either through their student Gmail accounts or upload it through Google Classroom and send it to me that way. Some students are more comfortable with creating a Word document on their student Gmail account and then sharing it with me. If that's what they're more comfortable with, I'm fine with accepting assignments that way as well. But some collective information about the classes. Let's see here. I can't really show you what a breakout room looks like, but again, I would assign all the Algebra C students to one breakout room, and then all the Geometry 1A students to another breakout room, and then all the Prep for Advanced Math classes to another breakout room. I have enough instructional assistants to where I'll assign an instructional assistant to each section. So there might be one instructional assistant in Algebra C, there might be one instructional assistant in Geometry 1A, and then I myself might be overseeing the Prep for Advanced Math class. So there's always an adult available to offer support to them if they need it. As the teacher of all three of these, or actually all four of these classes, I do bounce around from breakout room to breakout room. So once I've given the instructions for my breakout room and I'm fairly confident that the students know what they're doing, then I'll leave my breakout room and I'll go to another breakout room just to check in with the students and the staff there to make sure everything's going okay, answer any questions if I need to. Students do have the capability of contacting me from their breakout rooms, even if I'm not in it. At the bottom of their screen, there's a button that says something to the effect of ask for help. And if they click on that, that'll immediately notify me, wherever I happen to be, that a student needs help. It tells me who they are, and then with the click of a button, I immediately leave my breakout room, go to the breakout room where that student needs help, and go directly to that student and ask them and find out what it is exactly that they need help with. So there's plenty of support. About the classes, briefly, Basic Algebra A and C are part of the Basic Algebra series, which consists of Basic Algebras A, B, C, and D, and culminates with the student earning their state algebra graduation requirement upon successful completion of those classes. Basic Geometry 1A is typically reserved for students that have completed their basic algebra requirement and need another 5 or 10 credits of math credit. Each one of these classes is worth 5 credits, by the way. And then Basic Prep for Advanced Math A is typically reserved for students that have completed their basic, or not their basic, but their state algebra requirement, and possibly even geometry. Oftentimes these are students that are in their 11th or 12th grade year and might be looking to get a 3rd or 4th year of math under their belt. Okay, let's see here. Well, as part of the basic course curriculum, we do build time into each class period to provide students with additional support, remediation, or both. Supports include, but they are not limited to, coordination and collaboration with related service providers like designated instructional service counselors, or educationally related intensive counseling service therapists, language and speech pathologists, occupational therapists, and other related service providers. So we'd like to work with the other related service providers and coordinate time for them to pull students out of class and provide them with those valuable related services so that way they're not missing class time from their general education core classes or electives. Students are expected to log into my Google Classroom as scheduled, if not a little bit earlier, by the start of the period. And once they've logged into the Google Classroom, students may access the online meeting link posted in the daily assignment or from the Stream tab. So we try to post it in multiple locations so that way students can easily access those online meeting links. I even send out an email reminder 5 to 7 minutes before class starts to remind students to log into my online meeting. Attendance will be taken daily, and students that are tardy or absent will be marked accordingly. Students are expected to engage in, complete, and submit their assignments electronically while on distance learning. And I make it a habit of notifying students directly by email when I receive an assignment from them, because assignments sometimes get lost in the ether. When I do get an assignment from a student, I will take the time to email them back to let them know that math assignment for 8/24/2020 was received. So there's no guesswork as to whether or not I received an assignment or not. And I've coached the students on this, and I've let them know, if you don't get that email from me within a day, within one school day, I probably didn't get the assignment, and they need to contact me to follow up on it to find out what happened. Sometimes assignments don't get to their intended locations because of Wi-Fi issues, or because we've been having rolling power outages, power issues, and a variety of things. I do accept late assignments, and students will be expected to make up assignments that they missed, but all late assignments must be turned in at least 1 week prior to the grade reporting deadlines in order to count for those grading periods. Assignments will be graded on a 100-point scale, which means that whatever the student's accuracy percentage is on an assignment, that's their score. If they got 100% on the assignment, they earned 100 out of 100. If they got 78% of the assignment correct, they got a 78 out of 100. At a minimum, grades will be updated weekly in Infinite Campus, but I typically update the grades daily, because that's just a little easier for me, especially when I'm accepting work late from students. Students are expected to conduct themselves appropriately while on distance learning and follow all school rules, just like they would be if they were attending campus. And I also want to go over where else students can find my Google Classroom links. From here, I'm going to go to the school website. So let me click on that. So this is our typical school website. And if you go to, or if the student goes to, staff, click on full staff directory. And it's loading, and it's loading. Here's the full staff directory. I'm at the bottom, of course, because my last name starts with a W. So I'm just going to type my last name, and there I am. Click on my name. You can, students and parents can also email me by clicking this link right here. But I'm going to click on my name. And here's my website page. I briefly talk about the Google Classrooms and how to access them. But here are all my Google Classrooms. So students can, if they have forgotten how to get into my Google Classroom for whatever reason, if they're working from a strange computer far away from home, if they can get to the school website and get to my name, they can click on whichever link that they need to get into my Google Classroom. All of my students are currently enrolled in my Google Classroom. I sent them an invitation through their student Gmail account before the semester started, and all of them have already accepted. So actually getting to my Google Classroom shouldn't be too much of an issue. But if they need to, there it is right there. Okay. I know I went through a lot of material, and you might have some questions. So if you do have any questions, you can feel free to email me. at my work email account, which is pwong@heartdistrict.org, or there it is right there, pwong@heartdistrict.org. Okay, well, if you don't have any more questions for me, that concludes my video. But if you do, feel free to email me. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.